Call to order this regular city council virtual meeting for Monday, May 10th,
Recording in progress.
2021.
I think you're muted, Mayor.
Yep. Thank you. If we could say the Pledge of Allegiance, please, that would be great. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Barb, will you call the roll, please?
Lanyon.
Present, City of Williamston, Ingham County, Michigan.
Pratt.
Present, City of Williamston, Ingham County, Michigan.
Bellinger.
Present, City of Williamston, Ingham County, Michigan.
Weiss. Rhines. Gilroy.
Present, City of Williamston, Ingham County, Michigan.
Smith.
Present, City of Williamston, Ingham County, Michigan.
I just wanted to let my fellow council members know and our viewing audience that I did receive calls from both Councilman Rhines and Councilman Weiss. They had something come up during the day today that they are unable to be with us this evening. So if anyone would like to offer a motion to excuse, I would accept that.
I'll move to absent. I'll second Gene.
All
Motion
right.
to excuse
Great.
Councilman Rhines and Councilman Weiss. Smith.
Second, Lanyon.
Thank you. Thank you both. Barb, if you could call the roll for those absences, please.
Bellinger.
Yes.
Gilroy.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Lanyon.
Yes.
Pratt.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. And now I'm looking for approval of our evening's agenda if there's no changes that need to be made. Yes, Corey.
An email sent out adding a 1D. So I'll move to approve the agenda with the addition of 10D to it.
All right, great. And what's the topic for 10D?
The addition is the TIFA changing to the amendment plan is what 10D is.
All right.
Mayor.
Yes.
Mayor, it's set public hearing for TIFA 2B plan amendment for Monday, June 14th, 2021 at 7:05 p.m.
June 14th at 7:05 p.m.
Yes.
Second,
All right.
Smith.
Thank you both for the friendly amendment. I appreciate that. Barb, will you call the roll, please?
Pratt.
Yes.
Bellinger.
Yes.
Gilroy.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Lanyon.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Barb, it's our opportunity for audience participation. I do see a couple guests here with us, but do we have anybody else that has come in?
No.
All right, great. Moving on then, we have the 2021-2022 fiscal year budget public hearing that we're super close. It is 7:04. This is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. All right. And Corey, once we hit 7:05, I'll go ahead and let you take that.
The Jeopardy theme song should be playing.
Hey, I know, we should be getting pretty close here. All right, Corey, it's 7:05. So again, this is the 2021-2022 fiscal year budget public hearing opened at 7:05 p.m.
Thank you, Mayor. This is really the opportunity for the public to address any questions or comments. We have to advertise this in the local newspaper. We've also had the budget posted on our website where people were directed to take a look at that. The only thing that I will add is that before council votes on it, we typically don't include the budget resolution the same night as the public hearing, depending on any comments. But I still do owe council a bit more analysis from the budget work session. I think one of the main, really the sole thing that was brought up was some questions surrounding options in the water fund. And with me being out last week, I didn't have a chance to really, put together all of that analysis. So the plan would be for the next meeting to have some more information on that. And then if there's any other items that council wanted more information on, my request would be to get that information to me probably by the beginning of next week. That way we can prepare whatever is needed for the May 24th meeting. Council can then consider that at that meeting and could vote on a resolution to approve or choose to wait and make a final decision at the meeting on June 14th.
All right. Thank you, Corey. I appreciate that. And glad to have you back. So again, just to reiterate, if anybody has any questions concerning budget, if you could get those to Corey at the beginning of next week so he can get that prepared for us. Did we receive any public calls or letters or emails regarding the budget?
No.
Okay. I'm looking for a motion then to close public hearing.
You don't need a motion.
We don't, Barb?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Barb. See, you're keeping us on our toes. I appreciate that. Now we have an opportunity for the Capital Area District Library presentation. We've got Julie here. Thanks so much. Great to see you. And I believe we've got Sandy here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn that both over to you.
Okay. Hi, guys. It's good to see everyone. I'm Julie Krasinski. I'm the head librarian here at the Williamston branch of Capital Area District Libraries. And then, like Tammy said, we have with us Sandy Drake. She's one of our cattle board members. Last year at this time, I was preparing to come and make my usual visit. So I'm really glad to be able to finally be here to talk to you again, somewhat face to face. What a year last year was, I tell you. Like just about everything else and everyone else, everything we planned at the library was turned on its ear. Live performers and other programs, we had to cancel everything, and a lot of staff transitioned to working from home for a time. But out of that uncertainty and confusion, we had the ability to pivot and create a lot of new services and protocols. Some of Cattle's plans that we had strategized for years down the line, we got to fast track those, like remote computer assistance and virtual meetings and even more. Through it all, finding ways to connect with the public and serve our members effectively and safely became an enormous priority, as it continues to be. One of the first things we were able to help with when everything kind of blew up was providing Wi-Fi hotspots to Williamston schools. When the schools transitioned to all at-home learning, there were a lot of families and even staff members who didn't have access to reliable internet. And so we were able to deploy out of our library things collection extra Wi-Fi hotspots that we had. So we were happy to be able to help with that. Creating online content and programs was also another important service that we were able to offer to help people pass the time while they were staying home and staying safe. Family story times on Facebook Live became a regular occurrence, as well as online trivia, virtual escape rooms, virtual book discussion, and even more. And a big thing, genealogy research kind of exploded during the shutdown. Our local history online database, the users increased by 57% in 2020. So people were staying home and looking up stuff about their families. It became a really big thing. And then once we got the go ahead to actually come back in the library and start working again, a doorside delivery service model was created and rolled out, along with a new computer appointment system. Eventually, people could also make appointments to come in and use computers or pick up printouts. For those people who missed browsing, a grab and go system was created, and staff would go ahead and select items for people based on their requests and their interest. So they were able to kind of virtually browse. To help all the families out there that had school-age kids, Cattle contracted with tutor.com to offer free online homework help for kids in K through 12th grade, which is an awesome live service. So if any of you have children, we're keeping it because it's an amazing service. So go ahead and check it out from our website under our digital services. In addition to that, staff also right from the get-go started creating take and make project kits and STEM project kits, and even kits for adults called boredom busters or art kits, you name it. People wanted stuff to do. They wanted it for themselves. They wanted it for their kids. And so the creativity in Cattle just blew me away, and my staff, everybody did just an amazing job. And so you can go online to our events calendar, and what used to be events are now like take and make kits that you can get. So check that out. You might find something that interests you. But then once the weather started to warm up last year and people started getting out more, we offered a Williamston scavenger hunt that featured pictures of notable scenes around town, and people could go out and be in fresh air and kind of move around and do stuff and enter a contest, if they found all the spots in Williamston. And of course, we still kept summer reading. It looked a lot different and it was kind of weird for us, but we still kept it, and we wanted to keep people reading because we know that was one thing that people were doing. A lot of digital ebooks went out, audiobooks, and regular books once we opened back up. So people definitely were reading. But all in all, our year looked very different than what we're all used to, but I'm really proud of the service my team provided while employing a safe, sensible approach to everything we were going through. And we really are looking forward to seeing everyone in the flesh again, hopefully very soon. We're just, being safe and measured in our rollout, which I'm really happy because we never had to step back from what we did. A lot of libraries may be opened all the way up, but then they would have to close. We didn't have any of that yo-yoing going around. So we're looking forward to hopefully opening up for browsing by appointment on June 1st.
Excellent. Julie, Thank you so much. Thank you, Sandy, for being here. As a board member, Sandy, do you have any comments that you would like to share with our council and our viewing audience? And you are on mute.
Oh.
There you go.
No, just I think Cattle's done a wonderful job. Julie's done a wonderful job in Williamston, and we're really proud of that library and what she's done. And we enjoy dealing with the different libraries and all like she said, it's been a different year, so we've had to do a lot of different programs throughout. Julie's done a wonderful job.
Great.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Because I kind of just went through a lot of stuff really quick there.
Julie, I think you did a great job covering it. I think the one thing that we can say about our community that we did all very successfully is we were able to adapt and overcome. And you've obviously been able to do that at the library. So council members, anybody have a question or a comment for Julie or for Sandy? Raise your hands. All right. Julie, thanks so much. Oh, Barb, go ahead.
I'm one of those that gets Kindle books all the time from the library, so I appreciate it. And when we were in for both the August and the November election getting set up, things looked like they were running really well there. And they worked well with us and all that we had to do.
Great.
Nice. Great. Well, I wish you a very successful summer program again. And hopefully, like you said, you'll be able to get patrons back in. Right. Because I know people love to, tactile, love to touch, feel, and all that type of stuff, and they probably miss it. So keep up the good work that you do for our community. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you. And thank you all for all your time. I know it couldn't have been easy for you guys running the city either. So we appreciate you as well. So
thank you.
Right.
Thank you so much, both.
Good night.
Night. All right, moving along. The next item is our council meeting minutes of April 26, 2021. I'm looking for approval, or if there's any changes that any council member might have noticed that needs to be made.
Motion to approve the council meeting minutes from April 26, 2021. Smith.
Thank you.
Second, Lanyon.
Thank you both. Barb, will you call the roll for that, please?
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Just a note, Councilman Pratt's internet is a little bit lagging. So when we do call on him, or if he raises his hand for comments or questions, we just want to be cognizant of that. Next on our agenda, we have accounts payable. Noah, were you able to review and bring those forward?
Yes, Mayor, I had a chance to review them. And as you guys noticed, I sent an email to Holly and to Corey for a couple clarifications, which they did an excellent job on. And I looked at the rest and everything looked to be in great shape. So I would like to make a motion to approve the accounts payable check 74298 dated 4/23 of 21 through check 74334 dated 4/30 of 21 and ACH entries 99 through 105 and a total of $210,956.21. And then I'll open the floor if individuals have questions for Corey.
Great. Thank you so much, Noah. Any questions, raise hands. If not, I'm looking for support for that.
Support, Smith.
Thank you. If there's no further discussion, then I will go ahead and ask Barb to call the roll for the approval of accounts payable.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to our action items. We have our first, which is the second reading of the Downtown Development Authority Plan Amendment Ordinance. And this is the second reading. I do not believe there have been any changes that have been brought forward. So if somebody would like to, if there's any questions, please raise your hands. If not, I'm looking for a motion.
What do you need the motion to say? I'll make the motion, but I'm not positive what motion I need to make right now.
There is a recommended motion by city manager for that, which is the 10A, page 1.
Oh, am I missing it? There we are. You missed it right there. All right. Lanyon moves to approve second reading and adoption of an ordinance to confirm the adoption of the City of Williamston Downtown Development Authority's 10th amended development plan and tax increment financing plan amendment.
All right. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you both. All right. If there's no discussion or questions, Barb, will you call the roll, please?
Lanyon,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Gilroy.
Yes. All right. Moving along to action item 10B, we have the well 10 pump motor replacement and well cleaning contract. And we have Scott here this evening. Scott, I'll go ahead and turn over to you for this.
All right, thank you. There is a detailed memo in your packet involving the description of what we're doing at well 10 and kind of going through the bidding process that we went through. This is a planned capital improvement project in our budget. We solicited bids from 3 contractors. We only received 1. The other 2 had some issues with getting things supplied to us, but the one that did supply was still under the environment of a competitive situation. They had no knowledge that the other ones weren't going to be received. This bidder is Northern Pump and Well, which has done work in our system before. They also completed the work at well number 9 last time, and they were the successful low bidder at the previous project back in 2017. They have also been doing annual testing of our pumps. It's a $1,000 process to go through $200 at each one of the 5 wells over the past 4 years, and it keeps us supplied with good information as far as the condition of our system. The bid contained the base bid, which is to replace the pump and motor. And incidentally, while we were getting the final packages out to the contractors to bid, well 10 seized up a couple weeks back. So we're without the well at this point in time. It's about right where you'd expect it to be in the life cycle of these things. And this is a submersible pump, which means that the motor is attached to the pump and it's 180 feet down a rock hole in the ground. And so there's no way of doing anything unless you pull that whole apparatus out, and it's on drop pipes and so forth. So we put optional prices in the contract. Once you pull that out, you can see what the condition of the pipe is. You can see what the condition of the check valve is. And we have in the contract to do video camera work of the rock hole so that we can see after the cleaning process whether we think additional cleaning needs to be done with a chemical treatment. And there's an optional price for that as well. We will not proceed with the optional stuff if it's not necessary. But we are asking tonight for council's approval to do the full amount if we find that conditions warrant. Say we pull it out and the drop pipe has extreme wear on it and we don't think it's going to last the next cycle until the next time you have to pull the pumps out. So I guess with that, I don't want to get into too much more detail, and I'll answer any questions if folks have them.
Great. Thank you, Scott. And always a detailed memo from you. It's very nicely spelled out. Council members, do you have any questions? If so, raise your hands, please. All right. If there are no questions for Scott, I will look for that motion to move it forward.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the award of the contract for well 10 pump motor replacement and well cleaning to Northern Pump and Well Incorporated of Lansing, Michigan, for the amount up to $49,245.40. Smith.
All right. Thank you.
Support Bellinger.
Thank you. If there's no further discussion or questions,
Tammy, just
go ahead.
before you actually take the vote, I just want to make sure one thing is clear. This was a planned CIP expense. The optional items that are there, if we end up having to do like the chemical cleaning, that'll take us out beyond what was planned for the project. But right now, I was talking with Corey this morning, we have sufficient money in our maintenance budget of the plant, which also includes the wells. So I just want to make sure before you voted, I wanted to make sure everybody understood that we feel comfortable that there is all the money in the budget as appropriate.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that attention to detail. So with that clarification, if there are no questions or discussion, I'll go ahead and ask Barb to call the roll.
Smith,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon.
Yes.
All right. The next action item 10C is the 2021 Pazer Pavement Ratings Contract. And Scott, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you again.
Okay, this is a very quick, small thing. We have used a small firm historically of a couple guys that worked for a road commission that were retired, and they made their own little business, and they came into town and were able to take care of our Pacer ratings for under $900 a year. Well, last year they closed up shop, and were forced to try and find somebody else. We were unsuccessful in finding anybody last year that was even coming close to the cost of what the others were doing. And with COVID, it was difficult for anybody to get this stuff done. So we're a year lapsed in doing this, and we're supposed to be supplying our Pazer ratings to MDOT every year. We also use it for our own planning purposes as well, as far as where to focus our attentions for road repairs and so forth. But we did find our contract that we have with doing the bridge inspections is with Manick and Smith Group, that they do those every other year for us. And they said they could offer the services, which I felt fairly competitively at $1,850. So it's more than what we were paying before, but we were getting a bargain basement price deal before. This is still a very good price for Manick and Smith. Other firms that I talked to, we'd be looking at, $3,000 or more to do this type of service. So with that, we brought together a small agreement. Mr. Perone has reviewed this agreement. There were a few modifications made to it from the one that's in your packet. And Manick and Smith did supply the changes requested by our attorney today. And I believe, Tim, to your satisfaction, is that true?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Great. Thank you both. Any questions for Scott regarding this agreement for services? If not, then I'm looking for a motion to move that forward. And thank you, Scott, again for good work and being able to tap somebody that already does some work for us.
Lanyon moves to approve the professional services agreement for roadway pacer rating data collection and reporting from Manick and Smith Group, Inc. of Grand Rapids, Michigan, for time and materials not to exceed $1,850.
Thank you.
Support
Second,
Bellinger.
All right. Great. Thank you both. Appreciate that. If there's no further discussion, I will go ahead and ask Barb to call the roll.
Pratt.
Yeah.
Bellinger.
Yes.
Gilroy.
Yes.
Lanyon.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
All right. We have the addition of item 10D for the TIFA 2B meeting to be held on June 14th at the public hearing, June 14th at 7:05. Is there any particular language that needs to be made for this motion to move that forward, Corey?
Yeah, I have the motion that he sent the email, but if Corey wants
Okay, great.
to explain anything, he has anything to say?
No.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. So if that's it, then I can make the motion if you're good, Mayor.
That would be fine. Thank you.
All right. So I move to set a public hearing for the TIFA 2B plan amendment for Monday, June 14th, 2021 at 7:05 p.m.
Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. Do I have support for that motion?
Support Bellinger.
Thank you. Barb, will you call the roll for this last action item?
Gilroy.
Yes.
Lanyon.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Pratt.
Yes.
Bellinger.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. That concludes our action items for this evening. We do not have any discussion items. Moving right along to our agenda item 12 is our correspondence received and information only. Really exciting in the packet. And I know that Corey's going to probably speak to this during his city manager report, but we did receive correspondence from U.S. Representative Slotkin. It was a press release on the federal funding for local projects that we've been discussing during our council meetings. We also received a state of Michigan notice of hearing. So moving on to that, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into our department head reports. And Corey, I'll call on you so that you can talk a little bit about that notice from Representative Slotkin's office.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. So the press release that we included notes that there were 58 total applications for that community request program that we talked about the first meeting in April.
Yes.
And so we have made it to the final 10 out of the 58. If you had a chance to read through the other 10 projects, there's a lot of really good projects. I'm sure, Fowlerville and Mason and those various communities feel just as strongly about theirs as we do ours. The only thing I want to add is I haven't seen you all since we approved that at the council meeting, the first meeting in April. And so from that night until Thursday morning, we were able to get about 20 letters of support that range from business owners to elected officials, to mostly residents that live on those streets. And I think I probably put a note in one of the updates, but I just really want to thank our staff that, helped reach out to some of these, in some cases, 40 to 50-year residents that have had issues on their streets with water mains. And I hope that their letters made a difference, because they really were touching. And I noticed in the summaries that we were one of the only communities that said in their lists of folks that supported it, it said, residents and businesses. A lot of them said different boards and committees, which we had that as well. But I just really want to make sure council knows that we had several residents and businesses that, with literally only 2-day notice, wrote a letter, and most of them actually wrote an original letter for us, which I think always makes a bit more of an impact than like a canned letter. And I forgetting, we also had the 2 schools, Williamston Community Schools and St. Mary's, since both of those campuses are affected by one of the water mains that we submitted for. So my understanding is that they're hopeful that about 3 projects will ultimately get selected for funding, and that they're going to see in the latter part of this year whether that'll happen. And then the other one that I think you guys talked a little bit about at the last meeting was this surface transportation one. And again, that was one where our focus was totally on the water main one, and through some encouragement from our colleagues at Tri-County Regional Planning, we were able to get that in and somehow made it onto their list of 10 for that too. So I do want to be clear, neither of these is a funding commitment, but it means that we're in the pipeline for further consideration that will happen at the federal level in the coming months. So that's all I got.
Great. Corey, thank you so much. Did anybody have any questions or comments regarding Corey's department report? Okay. Moving along. Oh, yes, Brandon, go ahead.
So I saw that Raphael's leaving us. Is that, do we have that position posted, or do we have any idea of a replacement? Because I know we were talking about working with him on that, the Putnam or the Williamston Road overlay district. So.
Yeah, Brandon, I haven't got a plan for that quite yet. I stopped in the office for a little bit of time last week, and he told me that news. So I wanted to make sure council was aware. As I think I was pretty upfront with both him as well as ourselves with a part-time position, and given his background, I always had a suspicion we probably wouldn't keep him super long. I was hoping a little longer. But as I mentioned, he's got a great opportunity in the place that he lives to have full-time work. And so I actually couldn't be happier for him. I think he made a really good impact, even if it was only for 4 or 5 months. But he's going to be here through the end of May. And I think by the next meeting, I'll have a better sense of next steps on that.
Thank you. Thank you for that update. And please extend our best wishes to him as he moves forward with his career. And I know you'll do great work to bring forward to us what you think our next step should be with that. We have Chief Wolf here, so I'll move along to Chief. How you doing this evening?
Good evening. We are doing good.
Great.
We're very busy, getting a lot of calls for service and taking care of things. Joe Pintar went to his instructor taser training class last week. So 3 of us are now certified in carrying tasers. He's just trying to get the other guys into his schedule. He is currently in CIT training, which is like a critical incident. And Gene, where are you? Help me out with the T, critical incident.
Crisis intervention training.
Right. Okay, I was close. I had one of the words.
You're close.
I had none of the words right. So yeah, I was nowhere near. So just with what's going on in society, I felt that was the best move for Joe to attend that when we're dealing with a lot of folks in need, a lot of mental health issues. So my plan for that is get Joe trained, certified in that, bring it back to us and give us the Reader's Digest version and get us a foundation and get us moving in that direction. And then next year when the class opens up again, get another one of our officers into that. So we all have that high level training to be able to deal with people in need and crisis. Let's see. I think next week I got Joe R going to a defensive tactics instructor training class.
Great.
So he'll be bringing back that to us. I know the guys aren't getting as much training and hands-on as I would like to see. So hopefully with having our own in-house instructor, we'll be able to walk through those scenarios a lot more often and talk our way through those, work through them, and get some more hands-on. I think it's one of the very important things, as anything else we do, is be able to have that less lethal use of force training and skills in our toolboxes. So other than that, we're doing great.
Great. Excellent. I saw that you had a little special visit by a youngster that thought they wanted to be in the fire department, and you convinced him to look into the future as a police officer. We saw that on Facebook.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I was with Reserve Officer Chad Monroe, and we saw this little lad going down the road. I go, I got to talk to this guy because he just looked so cool. And I didn't know Chad had took a picture of it and sent it to Vonnie to put on the Facebook. And within like 5 minutes of that interaction, I'm getting a text message from my buddy from the UP. He says, you know, hey, you're looking good, but you're getting a little thin on top. I go, what are you talking about? So long story short, he says he already saw it on Facebook and it was hitting the UP 5 minutes later. So
great. Well, that's great community interaction. And, you know, I think that's what makes it special here is that all of the officers get out and they interact with the community. And so good job and keep up the good work.
You're welcome. Thanks.
All right. We did receive a building report from our Livingston County Department of Building and Safety Engineering. Lots of new permits issued, which means things are going really well for activity here in the city. If you have any questions regarding that, you can certainly direct that to Corey, who then can pass it along to Livingston County and get answers back. But it's great to see the activity that's going on for residential and for business here in town. Moving along on the agenda, we have our subcommittee reports. Do I have any council members that would like to share anything from recent meetings? No hands up. All right, I'm going to keep moving forward then. Barb, it's another opportunity for audience participation. Did we have anybody else join us? Okay, all right.
No, we did not.
Thank you. I will move around the board then for council member comments, and I'll go ahead and start in the bottom corner with Gene Smith.
Well, I don't have much, but I will say, you know, huge hats off to Williamston Police Department last couple of weeks. That department could be twice the size in manpower that it is right now, and they would have still been extremely busy. Those guys have been handling some major investigations. It just really, you know, reaffirms how important they are to this community, and Chief's been doing a great job leading them. So that's all I got.
Great, thank you. Brandon Lanyon.
I'll second Gene. Hats off to Williamston PD, always doing a great job. And then welcome back to Corey. Hopefully everything's going smoothly for you as much as it can be.
Great, thank you. Noah Bellinger.
Ditto on those two accounts. And Corey, congratulations. Welcome back. It's good to have you. That's it.
And Tom Pratt.
If anybody can hear me, I apologize. I have been very involved. I've been about 15 seconds behind the whole night, but thank you for your patience. But I'll mirror what everybody else said. Thank you to everybody. And just a quick question. I'm just curious, do we have any idea when we may be able to do these meetings in person again?
Great question. I'm going to ask Tim if he can chime in because he might have an update for us.
Well, I think you can hold your meetings in person if you so desire. You would have to allow the public to come in and observe all the social distancing. And so as a practical matter, it might not be so feasible in your normal council chambers, although you could meet elsewhere, potentially even outside. Otherwise, I know the city clerk has asked a question as to whether or not the emergency declaration at the county level will be continued. At this point, it goes to May 31st. I'm told that it may be extended after that. I'm going to inquire about that and get back with the clerk as soon as possible. I understand that there may be a public hearing set for June, and they need to know how that's going to work out.
All right. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. Brandon?
So as of today, and this doesn't relate necessarily to us meeting in person, but we hit 55% vaccination in the state, which means that on May 24th, that it's going to reopen to people going back to the office space working. So I would imagine sometime after that, they'll start considering more public meetings in person instead of virtual.
Great. Thanks for sharing that statistic. I think we all kind of watch that and pay attention. I know for me personally, my day job at the college, they're talking about that next phase and what it looks like for our staff coming back on campus, because we've had students there, for essential classes that needed to be done hands-on. So we look forward to having an update from Tim. We appreciate that. And so my comments this evening, I will just reiterate what everybody else has shared. Congratulations, Corey, to you and your family. You're looking great. Hopefully Chelsea is looking as well, which I'm sure she is. But you'll get this down, having added an extra to your family. Chief, please extend our thank you to all of the officers for their hard work, their diligence, being out there in the community, taking care of this community the way that you all do. It's super important, and to the reserves as well, because I know that that's an additional support system that you have. So we certainly appreciate that. And, it's springtime, still chilly weather out there and everything, but I've seen the community just kind of all of a sudden come to life. Last Saturday, this past weekend, I believe Friends of the Park was down doing work, McCormick Park at the play structure. This coming Sunday, we have the opening for the farmers market in their same location as always. So that's exciting to see that people are still moving forward and through this whole year and a half that we've been in. So I can't wait. That's probably my most favorite thing, is being able to go there and just be out with everybody and pick up some really good local items from vendors and farmers around our community. I think that's so important, and it really helps bring our community together, and also showcases our town for visitors that come in. So it's exciting. Things are moving forward. It's great. And so with that, I'm just going to say, have a great evening. The days are getting longer, which is nice. Warm weather's coming, I'm sure. So keep up the good work. So great to have notices on both of those funding opportunities again. Can't wait for Corey to give us further updates as those come in. So with that, I will go ahead and call to adjourn this meeting this evening at 7:43 p.m. Thank you so much, everybody.